South Sudan, the world's newest country, sits at the crossroads of Africa, surrounded by 6 nations. Its borders touch Ethiopia, Kenya, Uganda, the Democratic Republic of Congo, the Central African Republic, and Sudan, making it a vital link between East and Central Africa. Landlocked and traversed by the White Nile, its geography ranges from vast plains and open savannas to rolling hills and fertile valleys, shaping the lives of its people and the rhythms of daily life. To the north lies the immense Sud wetlands, one of the world's largest swamps, while the south is blanketed by dense rainforests teeming with life. The Sud sustains diverse wildlife and communities, providing water, food, and shelter for countless species and people who have adapted to its unique environment. Over 60 ethnic groups call South Sudan home, including the Dinka, who are the largest and have a rich tradition of cattle herding and storytelling. Alongside them are the Nuer, Shilluk, Azande, Bari, and many others, each contributing their own languages, customs, and vibrant celebrations to the nation's cultural mosaic. This diversity is both a cultural strength and a challenge for unity, as forging a shared identity among so many traditions is no easy task. For decades, the South felt marginalized by the North, fueling a long and difficult struggle for recognition, equality, and the right to self-determination. The journey to independence was marked by conflict, resilience, and hope, as generations endured hardship but never lost sight of their dream for freedom. On July 9, 2011, South Sudan became a nation, stepping onto the world stage with pride and anticipation. Its land, rich in culture and history, now faced the task of forging a single national identity, uniting its people under one flag and one vision. The story of South Sudan is one of survival, unity, and the enduring dream of freedom, a testament to the strength and spirit of its people. As the world watched, a new chapter began for Africa's youngest nation, full of promise and uncertainty. The challenges ahead would test the spirit that brought South Sudan to independence, but the hope for a peaceful, united future endures in the hearts of its people. Independence was born from deep and long-standing differences with the North, differences that were cultural, religious, and economic, shaping daily life for generations. The North identified as Arab and Muslim, while the South was home to a rich tapestry of African ethnic groups, Christians, and followers of traditional beliefs. These identities shaped how people saw themselves and their place in the country. Southern communities felt their heritage and faith were suppressed by Khartoum's government and the imposition of Islamic law, which often ignored or dismissed their customs and ways of life. Political power and oil wealth were concentrated in the North, leaving the South underdeveloped, excluded from decision-making, and struggling with poverty despite the land's natural resources. These grievances united the South's diverse peoples in a common cause, inspiring hope and determination across villages and towns. They believed only independence could protect their unique identity, their faith, and their resources for future generations. The dream of self-rule became a powerful force, forging unity from diversity and giving people a sense of purpose and belonging. The struggle for freedom was about dignity, equality, and the right to shape their own destiny, a vision that brought hope to millions and changed the course of history. Tensions in Sudan, simmering for decades, finally erupted into open conflict. These tensions exploded into 2 brutal civil wars that would devastate the region for generations. The First War began in 1955, even before Sudan's independence from British-Egyptian rule, as Southern soldiers rebelled against broken promises of autonomy and fair treatment. 17 years of relentless conflict left deep scars, displacing hundreds of thousands and tearing families apart. A fragile peace followed in 1972, but it was short-lived. In 1983, war returned, this time even longer, deadlier, and more complex. The government's imposition of strict Islamic law and the revocation of Southern autonomy reignited fighting, fueling anger and resistance in the South. Led by Dr. John Garang, the Sudan People's Liberation Army, or SPLA, emerged as a powerful force fighting for Southern rights and equality. Over 2 million people died, millions more were displaced, and entire communities were shattered by violence and loss. Children became refugees or were forced to become soldiers, while schools, hospitals, and vital infrastructure were destroyed. The wars deepened mistrust, not only between North and South, but also among Southern groups themselves, dividing communities along ethnic and political lines. Yet, through immense suffering, the people's resolve for independence and peace only grew stronger, uniting many in a common cause. The people of South Sudan emerged from decades of war, determined to secure peace, self-determination, and a brighter future for the next generation. Their resilience and hope would ultimately shape the path to nationhood, inspiring the world with their courage and perseverance. Decades of war led to a turning point: negotiations for peace. In 2005, the Comprehensive Peace Agreement was signed, charting a new course. The South gained autonomy, its own government, and a share of oil revenues. Dr. John Garang became the first Vice President of Sudan and President of Southern Sudan. The CPA promised a referendum after 6 years, letting the South choose unity or independence. Security arrangements and power sharing aimed to build trust. For the first time, the people of South Sudan had a peaceful democratic path to decide their future. The CPA was a historic step toward ending decades of conflict. In January 2011, South Sudan prepared for its defining moment, the independence referendum. Voter registration spanned remote villages and diaspora communities worldwide. International observers ensured a fair process, and anticipation ran high. Millions voted, many for the first time honoring those lost in war. The ballot was simple: unity or separation, symbolized by two hands or one. The single open hand became a symbol of hope and freedom. Results were overwhelming. 98.83% chose independence. The world recognized the outcome, and even Khartoum accepted it. South Sudan stood on the brink of nationhood, ready to claim its place in history. The countdown to independence had begun. July 9, 2011, South Sudan's Independence Day. In Juba, crowds gathered as the new flag was raised and the old one lowered. Joy, tears, and celebration filled the air as Salva Kiir was sworn in as president. He called for unity, forgiveness, and a nation built on equality and justice. The world watched as Africa's newest country was born. Across South Sudan, people sang, danced, and shared in the pride of freedom. For the first time, they were citizens of their own sovereign state. The birth of South Sudan was a testament to resilience and the power of hope. Independence brought hope, pride, and the promise of a new beginning. South Sudan's early years saw optimism and the building of national institutions. But old divisions and new conflicts soon tested the young nation. Civil war returned in 2013, displacing millions and stalling progress. Challenges remain: food insecurity, economic hardship, and the need for lasting peace. Yet, the spirit of independence endures, inspiring efforts for reconciliation and development. The journey is far from over, but the dream of a peaceful, prosperous South Sudan lives on. The people's resilience continues to shape their nation's future.